Welcome to the Forum at Holy Communion, a long-standing conversation about faith, life, justice, arts, culture. Each week, we will premiere a conversation on our channels, and then on the following Sunday, we join in the conversation with Q&A and a chance to engage on the topic. We're so glad you have joined us.
Hello, everybody. This is Brian Barnhart. I'm the treasurer at Holy Communion Episcopal Church, and this is the treasurer's report for our annual meeting that covers how we did in 2021, as well as talk a little bit about our budget for 2022. I try to keep it brief because I know that there's much more interesting things to talk about at Holy Communion. In big picture, Holy Communion did very, very well in 2021. We had planned for a very small deficit, basically a balanced budget, but we ended up not spending as much as we had planned on just due to pandemic issues, and our revenue exceeded our expenses by about $46,000. So we were $46,000 into the black for the entire year. That is wonderful. It helps us get ready for the coming year, which we'll talk about for the budget in the near future, but our giving was right where we thought it would probably be. So thank you all for your continued contributions and support for the church. The savings opportunities that we had for 2021, the reason we had this surplus was because the pandemic wouldn't let us do a lot of the things that we planned on. And a lot of our staff and clergy moved to new phases of life. So some of the salary positions that we had budgeted for, we didn't need all of it for the entire year, and there were unfilled positions. So most of the savings came from not needing to pay salaries through the entire year. And also some of our programming, of course, was cut back due to the pandemic. We spent a lot less on activities within the church that normally would need a little bit more funding. We also spent a lot less on utilities because we weren't in the building, weren't needing things to be cleaned as often, or using air conditioning all summer long throughout the entire building. Just weren't there as much. So in terms of the 2021 financial performance, our profit and loss, we were in the black by $46,000. That's our operating budget. And then our capital campaign, which we've been working on since 2019, also did very, very well for the year. We've continued to get some pledging that has been coming in since the campaign began. And in 2021, we received an additional $120,000 in pledged payments. We think that we're nearing the end of the income for the capital campaign, and probably only have at max another $50,000 still outstanding. We only have one final expense, and that is the windows that we've been talking about and planning for and designing for the last several years. That will likely hit in 2022, but in terms of the overall capital campaign, we're doing very well. We continue to pay down our loan to the diocese. We pay down about $63,000 every year, and it's a 1.4% interest rate. So we're right on schedule, and we have a large cash balance in our bank account. Currently, our balance sheet shows that we have $466,000 in cash and another $200,000, which we've moved over to some investments within the diocese to generate a little bit of income during that time. So we currently owe $561,000 back to the diocese. So we're still have plenty of time to pay that down, and the vestry will continue to make choices about what schedule do we want to pay that down, how do we want to invest the money to continue to, again, earn additional income. So 2021 was very good in terms of our profit and loss. It was also very good, and we're in good, stable shape for our balance sheet with how much cash we have and what our debts are. Everything there is very, very good. Looking ahead, one more quick item. We also had a full audit done by some external auditors of our 2020 books, finances, and we're told that everything looks good there and we're reporting things well, which should give us all confidence that our money is being used appropriately and being recorded appropriately as well. So that's always a nice reassurance when somebody outside looks at what we're doing and says, yep, you're sharing the numbers properly. Moving ahead then, we're going to look at our 2022 budget, and we're almost done here. So I'll put up a quick slide. Hopefully you'll be able to see my screen here. So this is a quick view of both our 2021 performance. You can see how we budgeted a very small deficit. We actually ended up quite a bit higher, again, mostly because of this change in our decreased spending from what we had budgeted with a full view of activities or full vision of a year's worth of programming to what we actually spent, which was quite a bit less. So we ended 2021 with a $46,000 surplus. For 2022, though, we are again envisioning a full year of programming with a full staff, full clergy team, and that carries a higher level of expenses. So currently we're budgeting a $63,000 deficit. I am confident we'll beat this. I typically budget conservatively, and in general, we have always beat the budget that we put together. So I'm confident we'll beat this, but I don't know what COVID is gonna throw our way in 2022. So this is a conservative budget. If the pledging comes through the way it always has, and if we're able to do a full year of programming with full team staff, we will have a deficit, but chances are it'll be smaller than this by the end of the year. Again, some of the big changes that we're looking at for 2022 is that we're going to have fewer fees from some of the external staff from a consultant we had paid previously. Pastor Mark isn't going to be on our team any longer because he's moved on to his retirement. And we're not going to be budgeting for a youth minister in 2022, again, due to pandemic related realities. We're also hoping to have a full year of our clergy team of associate rectors and organists and other features. Two of the biggest hits to us or decreases in our revenue, though, are that we've lost one of our renters of our building. Community Music School had been renting space from us for a couple of years now, but they've decided that they needed to conclude that in 2021. So we're going to have a decrease of about $18,000 in income just from not having those renters. We're also not going to have in our budget a grant from the UTO, the United Thank Offering that we'd previously had budgeted in our 2021 numbers. So there's a number of features that are moving us more towards a deficit in 2022. Again, we don't know entirely what opportunities will unfold. For example, if we can find another renter, another nonprofit to share our space, well, that will improve by quite a bit. And if we uncover other sources of funding that might replace that grant, that would also improve things. So overall, 2022, we will likely have a deficit, but it's certainly going to be manageable. And I'm not at all worried about our prospects in 2022, and we can navigate the challenges that the COVID pandemic will throw our way as we go along. If I was going to have two asks for the congregation, they would be, first, if you are aware of any nonprofits or other groups who might want to rent space from Holy Communion, put them in touch with us. Put them in touch with either Mike or Cheyenne or myself. We're happy to talk with them about what we can offer, how we might be a good fit for them strategically so that we can be a one-stop shop for their clients and their needs as well. So if you know of nonprofits, send them our way. And secondly, I'm looking for support with our grant committee. Opening our eyes to other sources of revenue could empower us to do a lot more in the near future. If any one of you would like to be a part of the grant committee or lead the grant committee, I'd love to hear from you too. Otherwise, I think we've got a great plan for 2022, and hopefully COVID will enable us to do many good things and do a full year of programming in the very near future. So with that, I look forward to your questions when we meet in person on the for our annual meeting, and send me any notes you may have between now and then. Otherwise, I'll talk to you soon.